exchange feeling completely friendless. Obviously that isn't true, it just feels like it. I've been making plans to travel with people, but plans, just like people, change. And I have this tiny little fear that I'm leaving to live in the most beautiful country on earth, just to feel lonely. So I packed this fear into my luggage, and then filled the remaining space with hope and comfort food from friends. Luckily for me, the clown makeup I've been applying has steadily thickened my skin. And God has always been good to me, and it feels like there's something on the horizon. So I say my prayers, hug my loved ones, and bid the familiar goodbye.
Jan 17. Do you see the girl there? Yes. We're seeing Esther off. How do you feel, Mom?
I feel very sad. I'll miss talking to her. Very sad.
Aww. Fake tears.
Come.
How do you feel about Esther leaving?
Okay, I'm glad she's having an opportunity to come.
How do you feel about Esther leaving?
Okay.
I don't care. How do you feel about Esther leaving?
No lah. I'll miss her.
Welcome aboard Esther's Exchange Airlines. We're currently embarking into this vlog and are expecting to land in Act 1, New Territory in about right now. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelts and secure all baggage because it's going to be a wild-ass ride.
To Glasgow, please remember to keep your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt signs have been switched off.
My first stop is Glasgow, to stay with family friends for a few weeks. They're super kind and the daughter of the family even takes a week off work just to bring me around. The forest and lakes are indescribably tranquil, and I just want to sit by the lake and read. My mother sends pictures of Chinese New Year celebrations from back home, and I don't know when's the last time I've been away from home during CNY. I gotta say I miss playing cards with my cousins and having awkward conversations with distant aunts I barely know. I joined their Canto speaking church and meet kids my age. They invite me to the youth CNY celebration and we have a dumpling fest and everyone's so friendly. The mom of the family is super cute and she cooks up a spread, making names up as she goes. She tells me the salmon represents 年年有余 and the prawn dumplings mean haha da xiao. Now I'm in London, and it's pretty interesting how people are constantly on strike. Like, I was on the bus on my way to dinner, and then the bus driver decided to just hang down randomly, and then everyone had to get off.
This bus will be terminating Liverpool Street, Primrose Street. Apologies for the late announcement, I've only just been told.
I also attempt to watch the changing of the guards, but it gets so crowded that all I can see are the soldiers' fluffy hats moving around. And they barely even moved. Then I did more touristy stuff, like going to the London Eye and the London Bridge, you know, the one that fell down. And I couldn't really tell whether the Big Ben was the Big Ben. While we were walking towards it, we were saying there's no way it's actually that small. And turns out it really is quite small. Big Ben more like moderately sized Ben. I get to hang out with my lovely pal Cal. We explore Shakespeare's birthplace in Stratford-upon-Avon and castles in Warwick and eat all sorts of food and stroll down the Columbia Road Flower Market, which is full of bookstalls and old clothes and buskers and strangers playing chess. And we walk and walk and walk aimlessly to our heart's content.
So definitely better. Are you?
Conversation picks up like we never left off. Like we're still in that canteen chatting the same way we did 5 years ago. And this is Minz, who's been a friend since we were tiny fetuses in primary school. Then and now, she's one of the sweetest people I know. Minz lets me crash at her place for the week and even brings me around London despite being so busy with school.
Oh no, did you run into that person? Just like casually hit and run and then they run away.
That's so stupid. Together we watch musicals and watch swans attack men, and she knows all the best places to eat for the best prices. And it's just been so fun hanging out with her and hearing her stories. Even though we've known each other for a really long time, we never really got the chance to talk like this. And there's so much I haven't learned about her life. And when I do laundry and accidentally shrink my jumper under it quite literally looks like baby clothes, Mince fixes it quietly even though she has a test in a few hours, and even though I should have just done it on my own. When my wisdom tooth suddenly acts up, Mince doesn't mind when I take a nap in the middle of our museum day. It makes me yummy dinner. It's truly one of the most wonderful feelings to find out your dear friend is an even lovelier person than you've known. The flight to Switzerland is pretty smooth. The family I'm staying with makes me cheese fondue for dinner. And the Swiss friend Elira brings me around Zurich. We watch the swans bullying the ducks in the canal, and at the Lindt chocolate factory we can sample as much chocolate as we want. Elira gives me tips on which supermarket I should shop in and what brands of milk to buy. And I'm pretty amused by the fact that she brings me to a Chinese restaurant for lunch, but it's nice and she gets really excited when I order in Chinese.
What bird is this?
Are you first time in Switzerland?
Yeah, first time.
This will be from next month very good weather and beautiful. When March, April, May, June, nice. Only this month little bit cold.
But still beautiful.
Yeah, but you know when sun is shining, then very nice.
So for the next 5 months, I'll be living in St. Gallen. Or maybe the more accurate pronunciation is St. Gallen, which is a canton right on the edge of Switzerland, about an hour from Germany. I take a week-long German orientation class and fail my pop quiz by half a mark, and I have my first class, which is hilariously in this weird metal box structure, such that the prof is forced to give us a break when the CO2 levels in the container gets too high. I don't want to know what happens if we don't get a break.
Honestly, I'm trying to take it one day at a time. I've been here before. Keep me out of my way, 'cause I'd like to be here tomorrow. I'm alright, I'm fine. I promised I won't give up without a fight. It's me, myself, and I. We'll make it right out of life.
Lately Anna, a friend from JC, is visiting for the weekend. It's the perfect timing because I was starting to feel a little lonely. But the unfamiliar isn't as scary when there's a familiar face with me. We hike the Wall and see and cook together, and comment on the dating show, and I smuggle her into the orientation program selling activities.
Tired of running from it, scared of feeling something now, stuck and trying to get up out of this hole. I tried to be strong, I tried to make it work, but I've been feeling too numb. Skies are bleeding on me, why'd you leave me lonely? Feeling Whitney Stoney now, stuck and wonder where I ever went wrong. How could I be strong? I'm fighting for your love. I can't wait for you to come my way. I've been far away, but I'll keep running just to find a way to you till then. I don't see light in your love anymore. There ain't no reason to go on the floor. I don't like feelings and feeling like running for so long. Feeling so out of control. I know that the feeling's gone. That's I'm alone. When you pick up the phone and ring me when you wanna say you're right night. My shoulders, my baby is all that I want. And I play them all my favorites.
That was a bit sad.
My favorite one.
Toblerone McFlurry.
Already pay 50 euros more for this flight.
So we run to the shuttle bus.
Also, we had to cancel the flight that we were taking. Cancel already, but then cannot buy the Air Portugal flight. So that was very stressful.
Probably my last alive brain cell. Flight concert. We booked. Yay! We got.
In this gentle pocket of silence, let me tell you a secret. It feels like I'm held in a liminal space where nothing I do has anything to do with my past and future. This is pretty odd for someone that has just been surging forward towards something, anything, her whole life. This kind of inconsequential leisure provokes a strange sort of guilt that balances subtly on my shoulders. At times, it feels like I'm building sandcastles with people I've just met and might never meet again. And it's not quite like how I feared. I'm not alone and I'm not quite lonely, but sometimes it feels like I live with more memories than people. And I tell myself to take it as a time of rest. But the feeling of moving, and yet never quite going anywhere feels like running in circles. And all this rest creates a restlessness that tingles in my bones. And yet, I can't stop getting on that plane either, because my Singaporean productivity itches. Everyone said exchange would grow me as a person, and I'd go through a lot and learn independence, and I'd have this brilliant character arc. I'm afraid I'm still the same old me. It goes without saying that exchange has been absolutely, thoroughly, undeniably lovely. Ultimately, I know I'm so blessed to even be in this time and place. The grass is truly always greener on the other side, even when the grass on this side is covered in cows and sheep and is so lusciously green, it looks like a laptop wallpaper with its saturation turned all the way up. No matter how amazing a country is, I fall in love with the idea of somewhere else. Eventually, I had to come to terms with the truth. There will always be the next place I need to explore, the next experience I need to try. And if there's one thing being on the road has taught me, it will be that all this was never actually going to be the solution to my problems. We tend to overcomplicate life. We cripple ourselves and create our own heartbreaks with unattainable aspirations. Luxury becomes a necessity. I learned that truthfully, there is no perfect period of time. Just moments of goodness among moments of hope. I pack grapes and vanilla yogurt and take a solo hike to a lake for a picnic. I enjoy solitude immensely. I bask in my own space, in my empty thoughts, in the freedom to just exist without being perceived. I make that recipe that I've always been meaning to make but never got around to. I go to Zermatt with Salome and pant my way up mountains. I learn to ski with Feng Jie and Desmond, and I pick it up faster than I expected. My Taiwanese roommate, Jenny, is super kind and she invites me to eat and hike with her friends. So I finally put my Chinese B to good use, and I think Switzerland has made me speak better Chinese, not German. We all go to a fair together and some of the rides are more hardcore than I expect. They're selling all types of cheese and I sample as many as I can until I get chased away. I chat with friends from home for hours. They're my joy and my weekly breath of fresh air. I eat as many strawberries as I can because they're in season and they're so good. School's fun, especially when you're not stressed out of your mind about class part and saying the wrong thing. My profs are so learned and experienced, and I learned about Brazilian tax law and transitional justice in Kosovo and European economic law. There are cows chilling right outside my classroom. I walk home slowly from school. I spend an hour getting lost between the aisles of the grocery store. And these days are simple. They're easy and they're new. I marvel at the flowers blooming as the snow melts away.
Funny, her clothes are kind of funny, her hair is kind of wild and free. Oh, for love flows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. She talks kind of lazy, and people say she's crazy, and her life's a mystery. Oh, but love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. There's something about her head on her mind. It's a feeling that's fine, and I just gotta say, hey, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well that I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. There's something about her head on her mind. It's a feeling that's fine, and I just gotta say, hey, she's really got a magical spell, and it's working so well that I can't get away. I'm a lucky fella, and I just gotta tell her that I love her endlessly. Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows like me. Keeps growing every place she's been, and nobody knows like me. If you met her, you'll never forget her. Nobody knows like me.
My last days in St. Gallen pass all too quickly. My birthday comes and goes. I have some exams, and I have one last dinner with my roommates and with the friends that have kept me company for the past few months. Packing is bittersweet, and I take apart the little nest I've built over the past 4 months.
Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna
And
go
then,
home.
After video calling across 10,000 kilometers for the past 4 months, home comes to find me, at last, in the form of my
I've
family.
been keeping all the letters that I wrote to you. Each one in line or two. I'm fine, baby, how are you? Another aeroplane, another
Looking over my time in
sunny place,
Switzerland, I've been so incredibly blessed with old friends and new ones. God has protected me by keeping me safe and healthy, but also by shielding my heart by providing incredible people. I'm so thankful for this time that I've had to climb these glorious mountains and sit by these peaceful streams and taste all the wonderful food and bask in colourful atmospheres. And so it's with this heart full of treasures that I finally bid Switzerland our Wiedersehen goodbye. I lock away these memories. Now, it's time for me to go home and make some new ones.
It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.